Well, thanks for joining us again. We took a short break, but we want to continue with his testimony, and we want to get Gabriel's take because he was very much involved from the day one. And you grew up with strong parents, right?
Absolutely, yeah. So, kind of going back, so something my father here has mentioned a lot is how he was mentored. He was mentored by pastors, multiple different pastors, one of the main ones being Sherwood and Gloria, right? And so just as my dad was mentored by them, ever since I was really 8 years old, my dad began mentoring me.
Well, praise God for that. Wow, that's great.
So where it really started to pick up speed was once I was about 11 years old, because God came to him and said, you need to pull him close to you or you're going to lose him. Now,
at
whatever
8?
that, no, at 11.
Oh, 11, okay. Uh-huh.
Now, whatever that meant, I don't know, but clearly it didn't happen. Yeah.
The world would.
So.
And I told your mom that the Lord told me that.
Mm-hmm. And so, in all of that, I spent a lot of time going to work with my dad and getting out to, and just spending time with him. Mm-hmm. And that's really all it came down to, is I was just spending time and getting to know him and getting to know his wisdom. And so with all that being said, when this situation arose, Dad got me up. It was like 6 o'clock in the morning. And whenever Dad gets me up that early, I know, hey, something's happening. Either he's taking me to work or, he's got something fun planned or something. So I was just like, okay, Dad's got something going on. I'll throw on a shirt, throw on some pants, and I'm out. Mm-hmm. Couple minutes, that's it. And so I get up, I get out, and I'm like, hey, so what's going on? And because Mom's been sick for quite a while, and he sounded a bit worried for good reason.
Yes.
And so he's talking to Mom, trying to get a response from her. Just
now she's
something
on the floor this time, right?
On the floor.
Yeah, on the floor. He got her up, and she was sitting on the edge of their bed.
Okay.
And so he was trying to just kind of get her to stand up. He was going to get her to the car, and she wasn't having it. And so I forget how it came to it, but we tried to get her up. Her legs were not cooperating. Mm-hmm. They were dead weight. And so...
You loaded her on your back.
Was that from the bed, though?
No, it was from the
stairs.
The chair, yeah. It was from the chair, and then we went from the chair to the stairs on your back.
Yeah, and I just piggyback style hopped her up on my back and carried her down to the car. And at that moment, the neighbor was outside, and he said, hey, y'all need a hand? And I said, yes, grab the door. He grabbed the door. I put her in the front seat, and then Dad took off with her. And Mom and Dad went to the Ironwood Banner. Mm. And they got
I do not know what's going on inside of him at this point.
Right,
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Were you like, oh my gosh, Lord, did you reach out at that time? Did you pray? Or?
I was pretty calm about it.
Okay.
One thing I do believe is that the Lord has given me supernatural peace.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's a
absolutely.
Gift. That's a gift.
So
he's mellow. He's very mellow.
Uh-huh.
To quite honestly a disturbing degree for a lot of people.
Oh, okay.
So.
Which comes in handy when you're facing a crisis.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. It truly does, because where I believe our strength as Christian comes is our ability to keep peace. Mm-hmm. That is where I believe our strength comes from. Well, of course it comes from Him, but if you don't keep your peace, then how are you going to be able to stay in contact with Him? Right. And it has been very apparent to me, with my fiance as well as in this whole situation, that it is incredibly important to just keep your peace. If you lose your peace, things are only going to get worse. You cannot keep your eyes on God if you do not have peace.
So important. You said it. We got to keep our focus on the Lord. The moment we start veering, that's when, oh my gosh, what's this? Oh my gosh, with the doctors, so that's really wise.
Yeah, and Dad was talking about it earlier. One of the things that God is God is love, God is peace. If you can feel either of those two things, God is present.
Right.
If you can keep love in the center of it, whether it be love or peace or any of, God is the great I am.
Joy.
Yep, joy. If you find joy in your situation, God is there.
Right.
So, regardless of the name that you choose, if He is present, He is there. And for me, God is a supernatural peace, and I don't know if I've got the gift of faith, but I mean,
Yes. We all
I have a
So-
supernatural peace. Yeah.
So it kicked in. I
Yeah.
mean, you're like this, but now it's
Yeah,
really kicking in.
absolutely.
now.
In the middle of the crisis,
Yes.
I mean, he was actually more at peace than me because I would react.
Right.
I would react, and then the wonderful thing is I had surrounded him. His reaction was that of peace, and which would always check me.
But you were the rock that he needed.
Yeah.
to
No, he
lean on.
he
Yes.
kept me, and I would react because I was so, you get so tired.
Right.
You get physically and emotionally
Yes, and
tired.
mentally.
She isn't fighting, she's fighting in a different way.
Yes.
But she's asleep while all of the dramas ensue.
Right.
I mean, when all the drama's going on, she has no clue. I mean, she's just got tubes and everything else, and
He had me in
And-
a coma.
yeah, and I mean, we're every single bump in the road, every single temper tantrum, any people losing their peace, and the thing is that you have to keep your peace when they lose their when other people that are living
Right.
in your house, they're losing their peace every 5 minutes, and then the way they react is they say something or do something or and then the temptation is, well, I'm going to lose, and one of the one of my customers says, well, we and I kind of grabbed this as well. We can't both be crazy at the same time, otherwise nothing's going to get done.
Yeah.
That's not true, isn't it?
And it's, or we both can't be stupid in the same situation,
Yeah.
otherwise it's all going to go bad. And that was the one thing was I would react, but I had people who they'd come and they would say, okay, if you lose and get distracted, your wife is dead.
Right.
If you get distracted,
So important. Keep focused.
if you lose the focus on your wife's this fight of faith, if you for 1 second, if you lose focus, she's dead for sure.
Wow, that's a wake-up call, isn't it?
And I can't afford
Right.
the luxury to lose my stuff
Right.
over something stupid.
Right. You have to make a choice, don't you?
You have to make a choice. And I would get to that point, or sometimes Gabriel would be tempted to lose the focus, and
Right.
I would rein him in and say, "Nope,
So you
we're not.
both
We're not."
helping each
What
other
I
out
would
with
say,
it, yeah.
what I would,
rock and he
Yeah,
was mine.
right.
what I would say to him is, "We're not taking the bait."
Right.
Because you might be swimming in that pond, but the minute you take that bait, what's on that bait is a hook.
Yes.
You're over. It's over. If you're on that hook, unless you get off the hook, the game is over.
Right. Right.
And so I have a line I say is, I'm not taking the bait. That's bait.
So did you believe all the way through it, every single day she's going to live?
Yeah.
Was there ever a point thinking?
Yes.
There was.
There was.
Okay, that's
Yes.
what, that really,
When she was in the middle of her first surgery, it was like 5 or 6 at night. I called back to my pastor in North Carolina, talked with him, and he's just like, "Do you think she wants to live?" And I said, "I have no idea."
oh, interesting.
Well, and you have to be honest because,
Right,
as
exactly.
believers, we have choices. And that's the thing is that, like I said, faith believers, they're not comfortable being this honest.
Right.
But people have choices, and when you're a believer and you really believe in Jesus, you have a choice.
Right.
You have a choice. You can
You have to choose
live
life.
and
Yeah.
not die,
Yeah.
or you can
It's our choice.
decide to go home and be with the Lord.
That's right.
Either way, you're a winner.
That's right.
And people sit there and they blink, 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 and well, we have to believe God that she's going to grow another lung.
Yeah.
No. And they'll try to tell you what you should believe.
Oh, okay.
And that's not right. That's not right.
Yeah.
Because you can't force faith.
Right.
Faith is
Yeah.
either going to be there or it's not. And we're all, as people, God made us believers. As humans.
Right.
We believe. Everybody has what is inside of them, the ability to believe. Otherwise, you're not alive. What I mean by that is the minute that we're born with a free will, and we develop as we go, and the first thing we believe is mama. Mama is my mama.
Right.
Daddy is my daddy, or whatever. Ultimately, we're supposed to be introduced to God. Some people get introduced to other things. They get introduced to atheism, or they get introduced to Hindu, or they get introduced to this. But we're all believers. It's what you believe that determines where we go, what we do, and after death, whatever happens after death.
Right. Right.
And so for us as believers, we're going to believe one way or the other.
Right.
But I choose to believe that God is there and we have the best choices of everything. So when he says that we are able to choose, we can choose. And I did go to her, and I don't remember. I really don't remember this, but there was a time when she kind of came out. And I don't know her. She can tell you what her perception was. I don't know what her perception was, but I remember her coming out, and she was a little fuzzy, and I was like, baby, you are in the fight of your life. And I mean, I was like, do you remember when my mom was almost dying? She was paralyzed. My mom was, I think you met my mom once, but she was paralyzed. And this was way before we were married. We were not even dating.
Yeah.
Friends.
And we were friends. She was living up in Seattle going to U of W, and I was down in Oregon City, and mom was in an almost fatal car accident. She killed somebody else, and the accident was her fault. And I heard the devil, and he said, I got your dad, I killed your grandpa, now I'm going to get your mom.
Wow. Gee.
And 3 weeks prior to that, my mom had decided, I'm going to go to Rhema, and I'm going to go be a minister. And which is a whole different testimony all of it itself. But the pastor warned my mom, the devil is going to come after you because you made a decision to go for God and to go down, and nobody that goes to Rhema doesn't end up in a big fight.
Wow.
So anyways, I reminded my wife, I said, do you remember when mom was in the hospital and she was in the fight of her life, and I asked her, do you want to live? What do you want to do, Mom? And my mom verbally, before she went in to behind the closed doors, she says, I want to live and do the work of God. Specifically, she said that. I said, Jody, what do you want to do? And she says, I want to live.
Oh. That's so
Now, I'm going to leave this,
Yeah.
the rest of this to her, but
Okay.
I specifically asked that because I have to. The one thing that I believe is if somebody tells me what their intent is and what they want, God will back them up.
Yes. This is her life.
It's her life.
Yes, that's right. So you do remember that?
I do remember that. I remember thinking every time I came out of the coma, out of the drug situation that they had me on, every breath was purposeful for me. I shall live, not die.
Did you verbally speak that, or did you mentally speak it?
She was on a tube.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I had tubes
That's so important to
everywhere.
understand.
She
Yes.
couldn't even speak.
Wow.
Tubes everywhere. But I knew that me just being in that room, seeing the blue sky
Right.
every day, no matter what happens in that hospital room, there was blue sky, and as long as I could see that blue sky,
Wow. Praise God.
God was still there.
You know, that's how they communicate in heaven. They don't speak. It's mental to mental. So the Lord was hearing you. Your words were coming very
Yep.
very vibrant out of your mind,
Yep.
out of your soul to his. He heard every word. Praise God.
No matter what circumstance,
Uh-huh.
I months upon months upon months in the hospital.
Right.
After that
Uh-huh.
surgery after surgery after surgery. And I made it. And each day, okay, God, we got another day.
You're fighting in a different arena.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her fight was different.
Yes,
Her
was.
fight was different. I mean,
Right.
we had to fight together, but
Right.
but her fight, and she still has. And that's the thing is that for people like in this situation, there's I think for people who understand what believing God is or faith
Right.
believers. So many of us set these expectations that to me are so unrealistic. And it's almost like you set yourself up for disappointment. And the thing is like I had people telling me what I should believe for. I already knew in my heart what I was going to believe God for. And the
Right.
one thing is that I was always taught is know yourself, know your strengths, know your weaknesses.
Right.
And you always believe God for your weaknesses, not believing God for more. You're believing, it's like you believe God, you use your faith where you have lack. Does that make sense?
Right.
So if I need something, I'm going to believe God for that. You're not believing God for your strengths. You're already strong there. What you believe God is for your weaknesses. But you need to understand, like, for example, I'm not going to go believe God for $10 billion. I'm going to believe, I could believe God for $500,000 and I can get it.
Right. And, then
And
you're
I
thankful for that
can
side,
believe
right?
for God how to go get it or how to step into that. And I know I can believe God for that. I can do it over and over and over. I know I can do that. But there are people who will tell you what you need to believe for. Well, you need to believe God for $10 billion. No, what are you talking about? That sounds stupid. And it's and believers do this all the time, where they want to tell you what you need to believe God for, as if their faith is the faith, or what they're believing God for is what they would consider faith for. And I had somebody do that in the middle of a fight, and I was like, no. And I just told them straight up no. And I won't say what I needed, but they told me what I needed to believe God for. And I was like, no, I'm not believing for that. Well, what do you mean? I was like, no. I said, here's what I'm believing God for. I'm believing God, I'm believing God that, number one, my wife is going to live. I'm believing God that she's not going to be short gut. I'm believing God that she's not going to be on dialysis. I'm believing God that she's not going to have a feeding tube for the rest of her life. I'm believing God that she's going to have her full faculties. She is going to come out of this better than for the last 15 years
praise God.
of absolute sheer hell.
Right.
Now, let me draw a picture of what sheer hell looks like in this particular case. If you eat food and then your body is attacking the mechanism that helps you assimilate your food, and what that means is you eat food and 15 minutes later it's trying to go out your body through your
Right.
your
Yeah.
butt.
Yeah.
And you do that 50 times a day. Now just imagine this. You're a faith believer,
Yes.
and you know the God up in heaven, by his stripes we were healed. I'm on my way to heaven. I know God's perfect will for my life is not for this.
Right.
And you go through 15 years.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
Then people at church look at the husband and go, why isn't your wife at church?
Yeah.
Now you have an 8-year-old boy who you want to have a normal childhood.
Right.
And that means mom takes the boy to soccer, to
Right.
baseball, to school. and you can't get 15 minutes away from the toilet.
Yes.
And then you have picture day at the baseball field, and you're late to pictures. You don't make the team photo, and then the little ladies at the baseball field think they're better than that stupid mother that can't even get her son for pictures. Something is wrong with her. She's a bad mother.
Okay.
And you go through 15 years of believing God, and your husband is telling you, God is going to do something. And I don't know what. And I don't know how. God didn't promise us a smooth, effort-free anything.
Right.
God saved Noah by what? The roughest ride in history at the end of the world, as he knew it.
Right.
That's what kind of a salvation Noah got. He got to shovel poo, feed animals, smell bad,
Yes. You can imagine.
Deal with-
on the ark. Oh my gosh.
okay? And then at the end of it, he got a rainbow, he got an altar, and he got to face a new earth
Right.
and a new, fresh new start. But that was at the end of the roughest ride in history.
Right.
And when we sit here and we are faith believers or Christians and we think, well, God is good. And then when life isn't good, we sit here and all of a sudden you're gonna figure it out really fast what you really believe. And that's really what we really have to understand. And when you are helping somebody who is,
That situation. Yes.
a situation and we don't understand
Right.
what somebody's going through.
I firmly believe that because there's, people that we know, even at church, they've been trying to fight whatever they're going through, but we don't know the day to day, the night to night, that they've been in tears, or they've been trying to get through the day, or they've been going for therapy or whatever it is. We don't know their struggle day to day.
No.
We just want to see the end result. Well, why aren't you healed yet? Snap out of it,
That's exactly my point.
That's
and,
right.
And like right now, okay, she's on the other side of this.
That's right.
She's out of
come
ICU.
through, yes.
She's out of recovery room. So now she's at home recovering,
Right.
and she's figuring out.
She's still walking out her healing.
She's walking out what God is doing inside
right.
of her. So she has a bag, and what she eats goes into the bag, and then she eliminates it. But the doctors said she's going to have what's called short gut. And so when we were in the middle of surgery, they said, if we don't get enough intestine for her to survive, then it's going to be thus and so.
Okay.
And I said, she is going to shock you in the end how she is going to come out. She is not going to have, I said, and we were, even the ladies in the church were all in agreement there. I was like, there is no shortage in my wife's body. And that was a play on words.
Right.
Was there is no shortage in my wife's body and my wife's organs, and her tissue will regenerate. It will add more
Right.
to the point where then later in life, we're going to have to go in and they're going to say, oh, you spontaneously have more.
Yes, right.
We're going to have to do something. That's a great problem to have.
Yes.
And she is assimilating more
Right.
and more and more. And we have to be faithful to accommodate what God is doing inside of her.
Right. I think it was Pastor Christina. She said, "I see you as walking miracle." And I still believe that you're walking your miracle out now. It's not complete. You're
Yes.
walking through it and reach the goal at the end.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
So I'm going to ask a question because I know the answer. So
Okay.
as far as your walk day to day, what temptations do you have as far as frustrations? Because this isn't a black and white lightning miracle. This is
That's right.
a miracle that is being walked out.
Right. Exactly.
So you have the temptation and the frustrations. And so what's going on inside of you going through this process? So you stay in faith because that's a challenge.
Right.
Yes.
So you help the other people who are, what have you been tempted? Where have you, all of a sudden, you're learning? What have you been learning through all of this process?